Throughout my 2.5 years of vertical jump training, I learned so much since then and realized that I did a lot of things wrong. My first time power cleaning was horrible. My workouts consisted of exercises I thought of on the spot, but there was one specific mistake that I made that I really regret. And I've made this mistake for like 1.5 years, which caused me to lose months of progress. And it was pretty recently too. And that mistake was overtraining. About 6 months ago, I was told that the reason I had chronic knee pain was because of overtraining. I believe that in order to improve, you gotta keep going hard all the time. Constant progressive overloading on the weight and the intensity each and every week, sometimes every day. Even on the deload weeks, I'd be training relatively intense. This was all from my own training, and I did increase my vertical from my own training, and I actually managed to dunk when I couldn't even touch the rim before. But by doing that, I didn't give my body nearly enough time to recover, and eventually my body wasn't able to keep up anymore. I've been a pretty healthy guy my whole life. I never had to limit the amount of sports I played or the amount of times I jumped, never had knee pain ever, and never really had any tendon pain ever. The only injuries I would suffer is the occasional ankle sprain, but overuse injuries was such a foreign concept to me that I didn't see it as a potential problem. So now that you know overtraining is bad, how do you prevent overtraining? Well, from my experience and my own training, the biggest issue was I didn't give my body enough days for recovery. I thought I had to constantly go hard or else I wouldn't improve. And that's only true to a certain extent. Once you cross the threshold of what you could handle without pain, it's very hard to go back to being healthy. One of the main things that was overloading my knees was consistently doing heavy loaded knee dominant exercises. I would do 2 high intense squat exercises per leg session, and I had 2 leg sessions per week, and usually it would consist of a heavy back squat and heavy Smith machine split squats. Sometimes I would increase the weight too fast or by too much, and other times I would be descending on the lift way too fast with way too much weight. Combine that with 1 high intensity plyo session and 2 jump sessions per week, and that's gonna kill your knees, because that's what it did to mine. So 2 intense leg days, 1 intense plyo day, and 2 intense jump days. The plyo sessions I did were so stupid. I just get so mad when I watch the footage back, when I watch my old workouts. Like, what was I thinking? I was doing loaded jumps with 50-pound dumbbells in each hand, and I was still trying to progressively overload on these. So I was landing with an extra 100 pounds on me, putting my knees through unnecessary load. And currently I do 2 jump sessions per week, and I'm doing fine. My knees are fine. So what was the problem before? Well, during the 2 jump sessions I had before, I wasn't warming up properly, and I didn't control the amount of time I was jumping for. Most of the time I would jump for way too long, and then I would play basketball afterwards. So that's just even more load on my knees. A reason I was going so heavy and I was going so hard was because I felt like my muscles could handle more. And just some advice, your muscles may be able to handle a certain amount of load, but your tendons can't. There's a certain range of loading you should be making sure you're staying at for physiological adaptation. Let's say this is the range. This is where you're making sure you're doing just enough where you're loading the tendon and slowly and properly increasing the load with time. And once you surpass that physiological adaptation, micro ruptures in the tendon begin to occur. In this range, you don't feel the micro ruptures happening, but they're happening. And once you keep overloading and overusing the tendon will start to go through neurogenic inflammation. So this is the physiological adaptation range. You should stay below this range. Then this is the micro ruptures, and then this is neurogenic inflammation. And once you reach this level, that's when you finally start to feel pain. But once you feel pain, it's kind of too late. You already have a degenerative tendon. Then from there, it takes a while to recover, and you have to go through a whole process of rehab. Right now, I have a feel-good lifting day in the middle of my week every Wednesday, where I'm still training, but I'm not nearly going as intense as the other days. Monday is a jump day, Tuesday is a hard leg day, then Wednesday I would have that active recovery day, Thursday jump day, Friday leg day. So that Wednesday would give me a little bit of recovery in between the 2 intense days, the intense Monday, Tuesday, and the intense Thursday, Friday. I would do upper body on Saturdays, but Saturday and Sunday is mostly just to rest my legs so that I feel a bit more refreshed to jump on Mondays. And then every 4 weeks I would have a deload week where I'd go through a whole week of training with light intensity. So yeah, to summarize, you gotta let yourself recharge. There's training with high intensity and there's training with stupidity. Be careful with overuse injuries, because when you feel pain, it's too late. So it's best to train smart all the time with proper progressions, increase the intensity slowly. I lost about 7 months of progress because of overtraining. I couldn't jump or lift without any pain, and I learned my lesson the hard way, so you guys don't have to. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I make sure to read all of them. So yeah, all right, later.